sekarang semakin dingin. Ini kalau nggak pakai topi kedinginan, jadi mesti harus pakai topi. Maskernya juga basah, mengembun. Ini teman-teman ada tram tower ya di sebelah situ. Tuh. Oke, kita jalan aja sambil saya take video. Maaf kalau kameranya goyang-goyang ya, soalnya saya nggak pakai gimbal.
Cuma harus punya softwarenya aku.
Nih ya. Diasihkan. Oke teman-teman, ini sekarang kita mau naik ini ya. Nih, Mandela Boat Ride. Kita akan menyusuri sungai ya. Naik kapal. Itu ada di situ ya. Kita turun dulu. Ke kapalnya. Jembatannya ada di atas.
Ke atas juga
ini kapalnya ya teman-teman ya. Kita udah maju jalan. Udah aku tadi video.
Make your way across the cabin right now, you can. Second, pretty important, if you do want to have any loud conversations, we just kindly ask that you take it downstairs. First, $1 million. To a family in the suburbs, it's their second home. If anyone here has ever seen the film The Dark Knight, and you remember that ending fight scene with the Joker in the building that is still being constructed, it's happening in Trump Tower. Black box structure to our right, this is AMA Plaza, formerly known as the IBM building, completed by a German architect back in 1971. His name, Mies van der Rohe. The building is completed in his international style of architecture. He believed that there should be zero ornamentation alongside his buildings. His philosophy was its But if you have your cameras out in front of us, you are finding the two most photographed buildings in the city of Chicago. This is Marina City, or known by their nicknames, the Corn Cobs of the Midwest. Completed by a student of Mies van der Rohe, his name Bertrand Goldberg. He did not agree there should be none in architecture. We are not going to find any right angles in the two buildings here. When Bertrand Goldberg was going to construct these two buildings, Mies van der Rohe called him and he asked, "Are you seriously going to put these two buildings up next to mine?" He replied, "Yes," and this was the last they ever spoke to each other. When you walk into your apartment here, it is extremely narrow. Widens as you walk throughout the apartment, shaped sort of like a piece of pie or pizza. Each floor connected to a central stem, think of petals on a flower. When the buildings first opened, they were thought to be a city within a city, having their own ice skating rink, bowling alley, movie theater, grocery store, even the private marina that we just passed. If you have ever seen the films, The Blues Brothers, and Steve McQueen's last film, The Hunter, they were filmed in. That 1979 Pontiac was driven off of the 17th back in 1914. The building is sheathed in that red brick. At the top, you will find some terracotta ornamentation to boot. If you are looking at the building completely, it does look asymmetrical. This was not always the case. You see, they needed to knock out one of the west side bays here to make room for the expansion of the South Street Bridge. The building was originally home to a warehouse, now home to two restaurants, condominium office space, Whirlpool, and Encyclopedia Britannica. But if there are any engineers on board, the next building, it's an engineering masterpiece. After the bridge, we will find 300 North LaSalle, completed by Picard and Chilton back in 2009. This is which mitigates rainfall, has plants, trees, and vegetations. Chicago has more green buildings than any other city in the United States. But you cannot miss the massive structure after the bridge here. This is our merchandise mart, completed back in 1931 by Grant Anderson Post and White. The building is designed in the Art Deco style of architecture. Art Deco buildings typically have the geometrical ornamentations, vertical lines working your eyes up, and setbacks at the top. This was the largest concrete structure in the world when it opened. Today it's only second to what building? The Pentagon is correct. The building sits on 5 city blocks. It is 4.25 million square feet of space. Up into the year 1996, the building had its own zip code. It was originally used to consolidate 14 of Marshall Field's warehouses, now home to over 500 showrooms for accessory inventory and furniture wholesale. East is 750 feet tall, Wolf Point West 570 feet tall. Salesforce, it will be the last of the 3 buildings at 800 feet tall. Wolf Point is also a very historic and important place for Chicagoans, because here, this is where we have our first drugstore, church, bridge across the Chicago River. So please bear with me. Start to walk with the white building to our left. He took up over 500 truckloads of horsehair from the building. It was insulated with cork and horsehair. Looking alongside the building, you will notice the starfish in the porthole windows. Harry Reese, he loved the maritime theme. He loved to sail. Also evident in the cottages that he designed here. These are the Chicago River cottages, completed by Harry Reese back in 1988. You can notice the use of the triangles, the porthole windows, how these units sort of resemble a sailboat. It's home to 2 4-story and 2 6-story units that all come with their own private marinas. And get this, up until last year, they were all owned by their original owners. I believe that the one unit sold for about one beautiful promenade, home to a gorgeous community here in the city of Chicago, known as Kinsey Park. Kinsey Park was completed by George Papa George and Haynes back in 2002. It's home to 70 townhomes, all designed to look like European row houses. The most interesting fact about Kinsey Park is that before ground was even broken, all of these townhomes sold for about $1.2 million. They all come with their own rooftop structure, unfinished. It also allows for the penthouse to have a beautiful rooftop terrace. Unfortunately, these are the only two buildings like this alongside the river. So this style of architecture did not pick up in the city of Chicago. Do not miss the building out. That light-shaded old building is a great example of adaptive reuse. The balconies. These balconies were not originally alongside the building. This was the original office building from Montgomery Ward that was converted into residences. The building was renovated by Papa George and Haynes. When he went to renovate the building, he found over 250 pairs of ropes in the basement. Why? Well, that's because Montgomery Ward wanted his workers filling out orders quickly and efficiently. So we plan to be able to swim in the Chicago River again. You see, we have made huge strides with this river. You see, the river, it used to be really dirty. Today, the river is just really dirty. Back off and to our right, we will find the Chicago Tribune's Freedom Center. This is where they print their paper. The building's home to 10 Goss Metro. So now will be a good time for you to head downstairs, take a break, visit the restroom, or just get a break of my face. I won't be offended. We're just going to go over a little bit of Chicago's history until we make our way. Close to 2,200 people, had 36 rail cars holding 60 people per rail car, 40 sitting, 20 standing. But at this section of the tour, have your cameras out. It is because we will pass what is possibly known as the Instagram moment of the tour. You're going to get the photo off of the left side of the boat down the main branch of the Chicago River. You will get a chance to see why the residents have ever been while they fought so hard to have Wood Point West here now be constructed. You will also get a chance to see how massive the merchandise mart was. Remember, the building sits on 5 city blocks. It's home to over 8 miles of corridors, had its own zip code for over 60 years, 60654. Ladies and gentlemen, I've visited many different cities all throughout the country and around the world. I do not believe that you're going to find a city as beautiful as Chicago architecturally, in my opinion. This beautiful glass structure directly to our right, this is River Point, opened 4 years ago in 2017. It's another LEED certified building, certified gold, that's made of about 55% recycled materials, home to the modern salt. The red statue is designed by architect Santiago Calatrava. It's known as the Constellation. But you may have noticed that this next building here, it looks as though it's been built upside down. This is 150 North Riverside, completed by Guest and Partners. They are not showing off for the architecture of the building. It has to be built this way. It's built over active switching tracks. Now, if you have your cameras out and you're looking up, you can take a photo of yourself in the reflection of the building. It's pretty unique. To give you an idea as how narrow the base of this building is, it's about 40 feet wide. That's about as wide as the boat that we're on here today. The building, it does get wider as it's going to the top, but there's something very unique at the top of the building that we cannot see. It is something known as a mass damper system. Essentially, it is a giant tank that contains about 160,000 gallons of water. So with the swing of the building when it wants to be blown by the wind, You see, the building is built like a tuning fork. So when it wants to be blown east by the wind, $160,000 of water goes to the west end of the building. All computer automated. To our right, we are finding 100 North Riverside. The building's home to the Boeing headquarters, which is home to a Boeing store for all of your Boeing needs. It's a 36-story building built with a 13-story lower half. What I want to draw your attention to here is the 5 vertical cranes that are on the east side of this lower half here. They're what's keeping this east side structurally supported. After clearing the bridge, this will be one of the few times during the tour today when I will ask for you to turn around. That's because we will find that the south and west side corners, they are not being supported by any beams. They're being supported by these white X braces at the top, which are known as trusses. After clearing the bridge, we're going to be able to turn around and notice those trusses at the top of the building. To give you an idea as to how these trusses are essentially working, you can think about the way that I'm holding this cup of tea in my hand. Basically holding it or suspending it in midair. Essentially, this is how those trusses are working, holding the south and west side corners in midair. 2 North Riverside plazas to our right, completed by Halliburton Group back in 1927. One of the first buildings erected over the rail system. It was used as a concert venue and up until the year 1971, home to the Daily News printing press. It's now home to one of our Mandela water taxi stops. The next few buildings that we will talk about, they are all completed by the architecture firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill. In the first 2 buildings, Gateway Centers 1 and 2, they're with principal architect Bruce Graham. Same architect who helped design the Sears or Willis Tower and the John Hancock Center. These 2 buildings, they are twins, 22 stories, in the international style of architecture. He is paying homage to Mies van der Rohe. He also did something very unique with the land here. He left no wall. He wanted you to be able to see the Metro and the Amtrak train.
Oke teman-teman, ini sekarang aku keluar ya, malam ya, ini dingin, bingung mau ngapain karena toko-toko pada tutup. Jadi kita jalan-jalan cari keramaian aja ya. Ini kita ada di park mana nggak tahu.
Millennium Park.
Oh, di Millennium Park. Ini ada ice skatingnya di sini. Ya, ramai sekali ya depan aku ini ya. Ini ada gedung apa ya teman-teman ya, nggak tahu ini. Dingin sekali hari ini, suhunya minus kayaknya. Tadi udah turun salju sedikit. teman-teman, ini kita mau cari obat dulu ya. Nih apotek kebetulan buka malam ini. Itu jalannya ya teman-teman ya, sepi ya. Ini padahal baru jam 7. Karena dingin, jadinya nggak banyak yang keluar. Ini saya mau menuju ke lokasinya tempat pembuatan film Batman. Sini di, bukan. Ini lokasi tempat pengambilan gambar film Batman ya teman-teman ya. Mas Erwin ada di sana. Ini apa nih, kantor apa? Nah ini ya teman-teman ya, ini lokasi tempat pengambilan film Batman The Dark Knight. Nah ini ada di La Salle Street. Tuh di sini Jokernya berdiri di sini ya, di tengah-tengah ini. Itu di belakang sana ada gedungnya. Gedungnya apa aku kurang tahu. Ini seperti ini foto yang ada di filmnya Batman. Ini jam 7 lebih 9, suhunya 27 derajat Fahrenheit. Ya, itu kalau Celcius sudah minus ya teman-teman ya. Anginnya ini kenceng banget. Oke teman-teman, sampai di sini dulu ya vlog kita kali ini ya, karena sudah malam. Kita mau pulang dari lokasi pengambilan film Batman. Kita akhiri vlog ini, sampai ketemu lagi di next video. Bye, assalamualaikum.